Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I am Naresh Mago, and with me is Renu Kataria with the Midday News. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to launch Deepotsav in Ayodhya today. Over 3.5 crore poor families got houses under PM Awas Yojana in last 8 years, says Prime Minister. In a historic mission, ISRO's heaviest rocket LVM-3 successfully places 36 satellites of UK-based OneWeb in orbit. Indian Space Agency likely to launch Chandrayaan-3 in June next year. Home Ministry cancels the Foreign Contribution Regulation Act licenses of the Rajiv Gandhi Foundation and the Rajiv Gandhi Charitable Trust for alleged violation of laws. Ayush Minister Sarbananda Sonowal emphasizes that Ayurveda not only prevents diseases but also preserves and promotes the health of human beings. 7th Ayurveda Day being celebrated worldwide today. Cyclone Sitrang heading towards Bangladesh likely to trigger rainfall in northeast, West Bengal and Odisha. Xi Jinping secures third term as China's leader, and in T20 World Cup cricket, India win toss, opt to field first against Pakistan. The famous Deepotsav function on the occasion of Diwali will be celebrated in Ayodhya this evening. Stage is set for a grand Deepotsav at the ghats of Saryu, and people are eagerly waiting for the Prime Minister to arrive here, who is first time participating in this extravaganza of lights. Deepotsav is being held for the 6th consecutive year, and the scale has increased with each celebration. All temples, even those in narrow lanes and by-lanes of Ayodhya, will be decorated and illuminated on Deepotsav this evening. The main event will be presided over by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Welcoming the tourists and devotees across the world on the occasion of Deepotsav, the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, Yogi Adityanath, said in his message that this Deepotsav of New Uttar Pradesh carries the message of Atmanirbharta and Swadeshi. Meanwhile, Commissioner Navdeep Renva said that over 15 lakh earthen lamps will be lit at Ram Ki Paidi. Besides these, 3 to 4 lakh earthen lamps will be lit at major temples in Ayodhya. Animal Husbandry Minister in State Government Dharampal Singh said that more than 1 lakh earthen lamps made of cow dung will be lit at Ramlala and other areas also. Unprecedented security arrangements have been made in and around the Ayodhya city in the wake of the Prime Minister's visit. More from our correspondent.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will reach Ayodhya this evening to take part in the Deepotsav function on the eve of Deepavali. Prime Minister will perform darshan and puja of Bhagwan Sri Ram Lala Birajman, followed by inspection of Sri Ram Janmabhoomi Tirth Kshetra site. He will perform the Rajyabhishek of symbolic Bhagwan Sri Ram. Prime Minister will witness Aarti at Naighat Saryu River, which will be followed by the kick-start of Grand Deepotsav celebration by Prime Minister. This year, the 6th edition of Deepotsav is being held and is for the first time that the Prime Minister will be participating in person in the celebration. Preparation for Grand Deepotsav are in full swing in the city of Lord Rama. Sanitation and cleanliness drive has started from early morning in the city. Ayodhya Commissioner Navdeep Redwa said that international level of crackers bursting will be done at the event. Cultural event will be take place for 3 days, wherein Ramlila troops from 8 nations and 10 states will participate. Dilip Shukl, AIR News, Ayodhya.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi participated in the Grih Pravesh of more than 4.5 lakh beneficiaries of Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Gramin PMAYG in Madhya Pradesh via video conferencing and inaugurated houses built under PM Awas Yojana. Speaking on the occasion, Mr. Modi said that under PMAYG, more than 3.5 crore poor families have got new houses in the last 8 years. The Prime Minister said his government is committed to the poor and marginalized, be it toilet, electricity, water or gas. We've included every facility to cater to their needs in PM Awas Yojana, Mr. Modi said.
ये हमारी सरकार का सौभाग्य है कि बीते 8 वर्षों में वो पीएम आवास योजना के तहत 3.5 करोड़ गरीब परिवारों की जिंदगी का सबसे बड़ा सपना पूरा कर पाई है। और ऐसा नहीं है हमने ऐसे ही घर बनाकर दे दिए, 4 दीवारें खड़ी करके दे दिए। हमारी सरकार गरीबों को समर्पित है, गरीबों की है। इसलिए गरीब की इच्छा, उसके मन, उसकी जरूरतों को सबसे ज्यादा समझती है। हमारी सरकार जो घर देती है ना, उसमें बाकी सुविधाएं भी साथ होती हैं। शौचालय हो, बिजली हो, पानी हो, गैस हो।
The main aim of the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Gramin is to provide permanent houses with some of the basic amenities.
Indian Space Research Organization ISRO launched its first dedicated commercial mission of Launch Vehicle Mark III LVM-3 M2 satellite successfully in the wee hours this morning from the Satish Dhawan Space Centre, Sriharikota in Andhra Pradesh. Speaking after the launch, Chairperson of ISRO S. Somanath said that it is a happy Diwali for all those at Shar Centre as the launch was successful and the separation of the satellites was precisely done. He said all the satellites are in accurate intended orbits. More from our correspondent.
All the 36 satellites of OneWeb were slung into the orbit in batches of 4 beginning 20 minutes after the liftoff from the second launch pad of the Space Center at Sriharikota. The rocket roared into the midnight sky with orange flames, pushing it steadily with thunderous reverberations, brightening the sky for a few seconds of the skyline. The performance of the rocket was absolutely normal as it stepped into the orbit in a textbook-style precision. Scientists and the dignitaries, including Sunil Mittal and family, joined the celebrations at the Space Center as the mission proved successful in all the stages. Joy, AN News, Chennai.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has congratulated Indian Space Research Organization, New Space India Limited and InSpace on the successful launch of the heaviest launch vehicle LVM-3 with 36 OneWeb satellites meant for global connectivity. In a tweet today, Mr. Modi said LVM-3 has exemplified self-reliance and enhanced country's competitive edge in the global commercial launch service market.
The Union Home Ministry has cancelled the Foreign Contribution Regulation Act FCRA licenses of the Rajiv Gandhi Foundation RGF and the Rajiv Gandhi Charitable Trust RGCT for alleged violation of laws. These two NGOs are currently being headed by former Congress President Sonia Gandhi. Official sources said that the FCRA licenses have been cancelled after carrying out an investigation against these NGOs. The Home Ministry had formed an inter-ministerial committee in 2020 to investigate certain irregularities. The committee comprised officers from the Ministries of Home and Finance as well as the Central Bureau of Investigation. The committee was mandated to investigate if the trusts run by the Gandhi family and other Congress leaders allegedly manipulated any documents while filing income tax or misused and laundered the money received from foreign countries. Rajiv Gandhi Foundation, a non-government organization, was established in 1991 and Rajiv Gandhi Charitable Trust in 2002. The BJP has welcomed the decision of the Home Ministry to cancel the Foreign Contribution Regulation Act FCRA licenses of the Rajiv Gandhi Foundation and the Rajiv Gandhi Charitable Trust for the alleged violation of laws. Briefing the reporters in New Delhi, Party spokesperson Sambit Patra said these two NGOs are associated with the Gandhi family. Mr. Patra alleged that the donations was received by these organizations 3 times from the Communist Party of China and the Embassy of China.
Pradhan Mantri Bharatiya Jan Aushadhi Pariyojana has significantly reduced patients' out-of-pocket expenditure. It has helped in savings of 18,000 crore rupees for the citizens in the last 8 years. In a tweet, Health Minister Dr. Mansukh Mandaviya said, government is committed to ensuring good quality and affordable health care for all. The scheme ensures easy reach of affordable quality medicines to the people in every nook and corner of the country. More than 8,700 Jan Aushadhi stores have been opened across the country, covering almost every district. The government has set a target to increase the number of Pradhan Mantri Bharatiya Jan Aushadhi Kendras to 10,500 by the end of March 2025. More than 219 crore 55 lakh vaccine doses have been administered in the country so far under the nationwide COVID-19 vaccination drive. The Health Ministry said over 210,000 vaccine doses were administered in the last 24 hours. During the same period, 1,994 new COVID cases were reported in the country. Over 2,600 people have recovered in the last 24 hours. You are listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to launch Deepotsav in Ayodhya today. Over 3.5 crore poor families got houses under PM Awas Yojana in last 8 years, says Prime Minister. In a historic mission, ISRO's heaviest rocket LVM-3 successfully places 36 satellites of UK-based OneWeb in orbit. Indian Space Agency likely to launch Chandrayaan-3 in June next year. Home Ministry cancels the Foreign Contribution Regulation Act licenses of the Rajiv Gandhi Foundation and the Rajiv Gandhi Charitable Trust for alleged violation of laws. Ayush Minister Sarbanand Sonowal emphasizes Ayurveda not only prevents diseases but also preserves and promotes the health of human beings. 7th Ayurveda Day being celebrated worldwide today. Cyclone Sitrang heading towards Bangladesh likely to trigger rainfall in northeast, West Bengal and Odisha. Xi Jinping secures third term as China's leader. And in T20 World Cup cricket, India wins toss, opts to field first against Pakistan. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
I am India. Look at me. Know my name.
We're one of the most mega diverse countries on this planet.
Our weddings, our fashion statements, they're all inspired by our silver screen heroes and heroines.
A 75 years young India.
What we are really going to see India become is a powerhouse.
India 2.0.
The Journey of India from 14th October every Friday at 7 p.m. in Hindi and 10 p.m. in English on DD National.
जब जुड़े लोग से लोग वोट बने तब लोकतंत्र का सिस्टम जब जुड़े लोग से लोग वोट बने तब लोकतंत्र का सिस्टम मतदाता जुड़ते जाए बने तब ऐसा नया कनेक्शन मतदाता जुड़ते जाए बने तब ऐसा नया कनेक्शन मतदाता जंक्शन मतदाता जंक्शन मतदाता जंक्शन मतदाता जंक्शन.
Union Minister of Ayush Sarbanand Sonowal has stressed the need to promote awareness among the people about the ability, strength and power of the Indian traditional system of medicines. Speaking at the celebration of 7th Ayurveda Day in New Delhi today, Mr. Sonowal said this traditional system not only prevents diseases but also preserves and promotes the health of human beings.
आयुर्वेदा के जरिए अब दुनिया के मानव समाज को अलग अलग बीमारियों से जैसे राहत मिली है और इस आयुर्वेदा में जो शक्ति बसा हुआ है आज 21वीं सदी में इस शक्ति को अधिक हमें उजागर करना होगा अधिक इस पर लोगों का बीच चर्चा का विषय बने इस पर हमें ध्यान देना होगा.
Mr. Sonowal said that the countrymen should understand the power of the Indian traditional system of medicine, which is in practice from thousands of years. He said this will help the country in becoming self-reliant. He added that with the support of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the Ayush sector has found a unique position globally. Mr. Sonowal said the Ministries of Ayush and Tribal Affairs have signed an MOU to work and carry out activities for the benefit of 10 crore tribal people of the country.
आज दोनों मंत्रालय के बीच में एक समझौता हुआ, ट्रैवल अफेयर्स एंड मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ आयुष, और अगले दिनों में देश के अंदर 10 करोड़ ट्राइबल भाइयों बहनों के लिए हमारे दोनों मंत्रालय इस सेक्टर पर विशेष रूप से भूमिका निभाएंगे।
Minister of State for Ayush, Dr. Munjapara Mahendra Bhai Kalubhai said that the government has taken various initiatives to develop, promote and accelerate the Ayush system in the country. He said the World Health Organization has recognized Global Center for Traditional Medicine is being established at Jamnagar in Gujarat. He informed that presently Ayurveda is recognized as system of traditional medicine in more than 30 countries around the world and its acceptance is fast increasing. Dr. Munjapara said, Ayush and herbal products and medicines are exported to more than 100 countries. He said the Ayush Export Promotion Council has been set up to boost the export of Ayush products and service globally. The minister said, as per survey, the current turnover of the Indian Ayush industry is more than $18 billion and the market size has grown by 17% during 2014 to 2020.
Some other major initiatives are onboarding of Ministry of Ayush in the Ayushman Bharat scheme for establishing stand-alone 12,500 Ayush dispensary across the country, establishment of National Commission for Homeopathy and National Commission of Indian System of Medicine, launching of e-Aushadhi and Namaste portal, Yoga Locator app, Bhuvan app, launching of Champion Sector scheme for establishing 155 tertiary care Ayush hospital in private sector, skilling of 1 lakh people under skill development, etc.
Speaking on the occasion, Tribal Affairs Minister Arjun Munda said, under the dynamic leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, research and development is being taken up to promote Ayush system.
ये कार्यक्रम भारत को निरोग बनाने का कार्यक्रम है। कई खोज इस तरीके से होती है जिसमें जब कोई बीमार होता है तो उस पर रिसर्च होना शुरू हो जाता है, पर हमारी ये पद्धति बीमार कोई ना हो इस पर रिसर्च शुरू हो जाता है। तो ये जो तरीके हैं, ये तरीके हमें अपना करके भारत के प्रभुत्व को हम अच्छे तरीके से गुणवत्ता युक्त प्रमाणित करने में सफल हो, ये हम सबकी कोशिशें हैं।
Cyclone Sitrang, which is heading towards Bangladesh, is likely to trigger rainfall in northeast, West Bengal and Odisha. India Meteorological Department has predicted that the cyclone will cross the Bangladesh coast between Tinkona Island and Sandweep around Tuesday morning. Its impact will be felt in Odisha and West Bengal. Both states will see moderate to heavy rainfall beginning today. The northeast region is also likely to experience moderate rains during Diwali. Tripura and various other state governments in the northeastern region have asked the district and disaster management authorities to make advanced precautionary measures to deal with the cyclonic situations.
Over the past 75 years since independence, India's largest public service broadcaster, All India Radio, has been the proverbial storyteller for crores of people across the country. All India Radio is celebrating 75 years of freedom with the series Azad Bharat Ki Baat Akashvani ke saath. It showcases the journey of India since independence in various walks of life through the storytelling of All India Radio. In today's episode, we bring you the story of All India Radio's role in propagation of sports.
All India Radio has played a big role in the propagation of sports across the country through its live commentary. Whether it is about cricket, football or hockey, All India Radio covers every small and big tournament, bringing the excitement of the games to its listeners in every corner of the country. Listeners fell in love with sport through radio commentary. Then there was no television, there was no internet. They created a world only from the radio commentators' words. Radio cricket commentary in India started in the early 1940s when All India Radio Bombay invited Adishit Furdoji Sorabji, Bobby Talyar Khan, popularly known as AFST, for his columns in the newspapers.
But to lower these feats came along Vijay Hazare, who at Adelaide in 1948 recorded 100 in each innings of a test.
All India Radio invited the likes of Berry, Sabdak Hikari, Pearson Surita of Calcutta, Devraj Puri, and Vizi Maharaj Kumar of Vizianagaram to do English cricket commentaries. In the 50s, the best commentators were Devraj Puri, Berry and Pearson, who in the late 50s and early 60s were joined by Dicky Rutnagar and Vijay Merchant. All of them had played the game and had good language and vocal skills. Sports commentary is incomplete without naming Melville DeMello and Jasdev Singh.
अब्बास भारतीय टीम है और उन्होंने सेंटर की, लेकिन उससे पहले सुरजीत ने खूबसूरती से अजीत पाल ने गेंद अपने टीम में से बाहर कर दी बाएं फ्लैंक में और ये खेल खत्म। भारत 2-1 से जीत गया। भारत विश्व हॉकी चैंपियन है और ये समाचार मैं मेलविल डिमेलो के साथ आपको कोलालमपुर से देता हूं 2-1 से।
The late 50s saw the emergence of Hindi cricket commentaries which took the game of cricket to the hinterlands. Ravi Chaturvedi and Joga Rao became popular commentators in the late 60s and 70s. These commentators were later joined by Manish Deb, Sushil Doshi, Skan Gupt and M.M. Manjul in the 80s and 90s. The 70s and 80s saw commentators like Anant Setalvad, Suresh Saraiya and Raj Singh Dungarpur. Akashvani Samachar brings the sports news of the day to the listeners through its program Sports Can, which is broadcast every day at 7:20 p.m.
नमस्कार, गुड इवनिंग, शुभ संध्या दोस्तों। स्वागत है आपका अपने ही कार्यक्रम स्पोर्ट्स कैन में। अगले 15 मिनट खेल जगत की ढेर सारी खबरें होंगी। स्वीकार कीजिए लवलीन निगम का नमस्कार।
आज के स्पोर्ट्स कैन के इस अंक के साथ मैं हूं आपका होस्ट और दोस्त सिद्धार्थ सिंह।
नमस्कार, स्पोर्ट्स स्कैन के आज के संस्करण में आप सबका बहुत बहुत स्वागत। खेल जगत की तमाम खबरों का लेखा जोखा लेकर मैं हूं नवीन सक्सेना।
नमस्कार, स्पोर्ट्स कैन में आप सभी का बहुत बहुत स्वागत है। मैं हूं आनंद श्रीवास्तव।
During the Tokyo Olympics, to engage people through All India Radio News and to cheer the sportspersons, Olympic quiz Akashvani Samachar ke saath was started with AIR News, which attracted a large number of listeners from across the country and abroad. Listeners not only took part in this quiz, but also conveyed their best wishes to Indian athletes to win medals for the country. Similar quizzes were also conducted during the Commonwealth Games.
नमस्कार, मैं समीक्षा शैलवी रांची झारखंड की रहने वाली हूं और मैं ऑल इंडिया रेडियो के स्पोर्ट्स स्कैन कॉमनवेल्थ गेम्स क्विज की विजेता चुनी जाने पर अति उत्साहित हूं। मैं ऑल इंडिया रेडियो की नियमित श्रोता हूं, जिसका प्रसारण मुझे बहुत ही सटीक और ज्ञानवर्धक लगता है और इसके लिए मैं ऑल इंडिया रेडियो का धन्यवाद करती हूं।
Senior sports journalist Mona Parthasarathy has appreciated the role of All India Radio in bringing sports news to the remotest place of the country.
All India Radio or Akashvani has touched almost every aspect of our lives and sport is no exception. Actually, Akashvani and sports have long and deep connection. We grew up hearing stories about how people used to stick to their radios when Indian hockey team was performing in Olympics, and that was the only medium to know about their performances, and that was the golden period of Indian hockey. Then today also, though we have many mediums like social media, television, mobile phone, but still the charm of All India Radio or Akashvani remains the same. There are many programs like Sports Can, quizzes, commentary, which have contributed immensely to popularize sport across the country and develop the sporting culture which we always talk about.
आजाद भारत की बात आकाशवाणी के साथ can be accessed on @AIR News Alerts on Twitter, News on AIR official YouTube channel, News on AIR app, Facebook and Instagram handles. So tune into All India Radio News for Azad Bharat Ki Baat Akashvani ke saath. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has condoled the passing away of the Deputy Speaker of the Karnataka Assembly, Anand Mamani. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said that he was a formidable leader who worked extensively for social empowerment and also worked to strengthen BJP across Karnataka. Mr. Modi also conveyed his condolences to the family and supporters of Anand Mamani.
The Delhi government has begun the anti-firecracker campaign Diya Jalao Patakhe Nahi to promote a pollution-free festival of Diwali. The campaign was launched yesterday with an objective to stop people from bursting firecrackers and encouraging them to celebrate Diwali with diyas. Due to the bursting of firecrackers, the air pollution level goes up, which can lead to health problems in people. To check air pollution, storage, sale and use of all types of firecrackers have already been banned in the national capital till 1st January next year. Those who are found bursting firecrackers will be imposed a fine of 200 rupees and imprisonment for 6 months. The city government has formed 408 teams to enforce the ban on firecrackers, which includes 210 teams of Delhi Police and 165 teams of Revenue Department. On the occasion of Diwali, the last metro train service will be available at 10 p.m. tomorrow night from terminal stations of all Delhi metro lines. The metro train services will run as usual for the rest of the day from routine commencement timings on all the lines. Chinese President Xi Jinping unveiled a new leadership team today, dominated by his allies in the Politburo Standing Committee as he entered his precedent-breaking third term. Xi was again elected as General Secretary of the ruling Communist Party at the first plenary session of the 20th CPC Central Committee today, which also elected the new 24-member Politburo and 7 members of its Standing Committee. With this, Xi further consolidated his power as he crushed party factionalism, removing 4 out of 7 members of the previous Standing Committee. Here is the report from our Beijing correspondent.
A day after China wrapped up its top political meeting, the Party Congress, President Xi Jinping walked into Beijing's Great Hall of People, followed by members of the Communist Party's new Politburo Standing Committee in descending ranking order. Shanghai Party Chief Li Qiang was the first member behind Xi to walk into a hall packed with journalists, confirming his second-in-command in hierarchy and signaling that he will become the country's next premier. Other 5 members have also been close associates of Xi. For the first time in a quarter century, there will be no women in the Politburo after the retirement of its sole female member, Sun Chunlan, a vice premier and China's top pandemic handler. Some of the current leaders were dropped, including Premier Li Keqiang, while the just-ended Congress set out top officials and Xi as head of the party and military. Some government positions will be confirmed in March at the National People's Congress, China's rubber-stamp parliament. Xi will renew his presidency for a third term after he ditched a 2-term limit from China's constitution in 2018, opening the door for him to rule for life. Anshuman Mishra, AIR News, Beijing. For World News, All India Radio, Beijing.
UNICEF has warned that health facilities are reporting alarming levels of severe acute malnutrition among children in the aftermath of the devastating floods in Pakistan. According to a UNICEF statement, more than 1 in 9 children under 5 admitted to health facilities in flood-affected areas of Sindh and Balochistan were found to be suffering from severe acute malnutrition. Of the over 22,000 children screened by health professionals in September 2022 at health facilities in flood-affected regions, more than 2,630 were diagnosed with severe acute malnutrition.
In T20 World Cup, India-Pakistan match is underway at the Melbourne Cricket Ground in Australia. India won the toss and opted to field. Arshdeep scalped wicket on his first delivery at the mega event. Pakistan was 50 runs for 2 wickets in 10 overs when reports last came in. Both teams are locking horns with each other for the third time this year after playing 2 games against each other in Asia Cup 2022. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to launch Deepotsav in Ayodhya today. Over 3.5 crore poor families got houses under PM Awas Yojana in last 8 years, says Prime Minister. In a historic mission, ISRO's heaviest rocket, LVM-3, successfully places 36 satellites of UK-based OneWeb in orbit. Indian Space Agency likely to launch Chandrayaan-3 in June next year. Home Ministry cancels the Foreign Contribution Regulation Act licenses of the Rajiv Gandhi Foundation and the Rajiv Gandhi Charitable Trust for alleged violation of laws. Ayush Minister Sarbananda Sonowal emphasizes Ayurveda not only prevents diseases but also preserves and promotes the health of human beings. 7th Ayurveda Day being celebrated worldwide today. Cyclone Sitrang heading towards Bangladesh, likely to trigger rainfall in northeast, West Bengal and Odisha. Xi Jinping secures third term as China's leader. And in T20 World Cup cricket, India win toss, opt to field first against Pakistan. For details of these stories and more, log on to our website newsonair.gov.in and News on AIR app. With that, we end the Midday News.